usually less, usually around the 3% mark. It depends on, because you have to cold call, or you have to not cold call, but you have to call those people and get them on the phone and convince them to work with you. And a lot of times the leads, I'm sorry?
I think someone's yelling at their dog like I was.
I'm
sorry. I thought I was muted. My
No big deal.
I think that was an accident.
So, oh, did I get muted? Whoops. Can everybody hear me?
Keep going. You're doing great.
Yeah, we got you.
So the Zillow leads usually are less, and a lot of the times, if you've ever used Zillow leads, you know that there's a lot of people that click buttons and then aren't actually looking for a house. And then they get mad if you call them, and the whole 9 yards. So it really, I tried it once before because somebody else was paying for them, and I really got frustrated, and I did not care for it. But then you have cold calling, which is about the same, about 10%, usually less. It depends on how you are at cold calling. I am atrocious at cold calling, so I really don't like it, but some people love it. And none of this is to say that these don't work. Okay, I'm just showing you the conversion rates compared to some of the organic and the style of organic posting that I will be showing you. So Facebook ads are 1 to 3%. Most of those are going to be rentals. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. It is very difficult these days to get Facebook ads to work on a good scale because I feel like it's oversaturated. Everybody's trying to do Facebook ads, and so you're going to spend a ton of money, and again, and some people make it work, but for me at least, I got a lot of renters. Of course, you have mailers. Some people say it works. I've never really seen it work well. I don't. It's one of those things.
Yeah, the thing about mailers and that I have seen is that you have to do it consistently. It needs to be something that's at least once per month, and it needs to be coupled with community events, things that you're doing to provide value.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, for instance, like farming, my neighborhood that I live in, there's 1,200 homes in here. That makes sense because there's a big social network in here. We're doing community events. We have a big clubhouse, golf course, things like that they always see me up there as well. And they're like, oh, hey, you're that chick that mailed that postcard to me. Tell me what's going on with the market. So, I mean, there's ways, obviously, with farming and mailers that you want to couple that with a couple other things because it's super expensive.
Right. That one I can tell you, is not cheap at all. And then of course there's organic social media, which can have, depending on how you're doing it, can have an 85 to 90% conversion rate. How? A lot of people ask how are you going to get 80? I actually got somebody told me one time that if I'm getting an 85 to 90% conversion rate, that I am not doing enough. And I fully believe that I'm doing enough.
That's amazing. Tell me more.
Okay, so really it comes back to knowing who is your ideal client. So here's a list of questions that you can jot down. and I can send them out to you if you want as well. This is going to get you to know who your ideal client is. So, obviously, what do they do? What's their job? So for me, my ideal client is military. So their job is military. How much do they make? We all know military don't make a ton. So anywhere from say $50,000 to $70,000 a year. How old are they? Of course, we're between the ages of 18 and say 35. Gender, 50-50 male, female. For me, it doesn't matter. But you still need to know how to market towards that ideal client. For instance, if you are trying to get in front of more women, statistically, if you start posting on Pinterest, you're going to get in front of more women. If you want to get in front of more males, trying to think of another social media that is more male oriented. Honestly, Facebook, TikTok, any of Instagram, all of they're kind of, I would say they're kind of 50-50, but definitely the Pinterest is where you're going to find you're going to get in front of more women statistically than men. And then what hobbies do they have? You can use that in a sense to say join Facebook groups that maybe you have the same hobbies. You can join Facebook groups in those hobbies, and then not necessarily promote, but say if somebody asks some sort of question, or maybe you ask a question and they answer, and then you can start a conversation with that person. Where are they? If you're like me and you're talking to military in general, then they're all over the world. But if you are just staying local, let's say your ideal client is more of a luxury client, then they're probably going to be there, or obviously somewhere with some decent amount of cash. But it's important to know all of these aspects of your client so that you can make the posting match what they're already going to be looking for. I hope that makes sense to everybody.
Yeah, so essentially it seems like you obviously want to find out what they're interested in so you can post content that they'll relate to.
Correct. Because essentially with the organic posting, it's kind of like what you're doing with the mailers and with the events, is you're trying to establish a relationship with these people before they might not be thinking about buying a house yet, but you're at least establishing a relationship, and then jumping in there and they already know your face before they go and might talk to somebody else. And then, of course, knowing what social media platforms do they use. So, for example, Facebook really has almost everybody, but it's more, I believe it's statistically more 27 and older. TikTok obviously is more the younger generation. I do have a lot of kids because I've posted some things on there about schools, and I have a lot of kids commenting on my post, which I'm not sure if I like that yet, but at least it gets it out there. And then, like I said, Pinterest is statistically more women than men. Instagram is kind of a mix, but it's gained a lot of popularity. Facebook's a little bit more of the older, I guess you could say the older generation. whereas Instagram is a mix between the younger and the older generation, and then TikTok obviously is the newer generation, and then YouTube is really everybody. And then, what are your clients' questions? So this is probably the most important part of knowing your ideal client. If you know ahead of time what questions they have, and I'm not talking about just, what's the VA loan process, or how do I get a loan, or what's the home buying process? Everybody puts that out, and that when they're just starting, they don't care about that. If somebody, like for me, for example, when people are PCSing, they're more concerned about what is the area like, what are the schools like,
Yeah.
where are the good schools,
Okay.
what do the homes look like, where's the crime, how's the crime rate in different parts of that particular city, maybe where's some fun activities. All those things are what people are looking for. And then when they give me a call, then I go over how the home buying process works, and getting them a VA loan, and doing a first time buyer grant, those types of things. And that's pretty much my whole spiel for today. I know I didn't run too long. I know that was kind of short, but what questions does I wanted to get more into questions about your ideal client and answering those questions. So, who has questions?
Oops. Okay, just making sure I wasn't on mute. Yeah, I have questions.
Okay.
So yeah, and this is the good part. So, can you give us an example of some of the content or the questions that you ask these people for the organic reach that you're getting?
Sure. There's a variety of different things. So I do a lot of things, and Cameron Hodge is in here too. He's my business partner. We do a lot of things on YouTube, and a lot of the questions are going to be about, like, let me see. I just put up a video recently, 15 things you must know about Hampton before moving here. Now, granted, like I said before, my ideal client is military that is PCS. And I think that in this group, a lot of people can say the same thing. So these types of questions are kind of geared towards that. I also put in things like, well, what do I do during the PCS process? How does the PCS process work? What tips can I use to PCS more smoothly? You can make let's say you wanted to do just a regular Facebook post. You can make, I know you have Canva, so you can go on Canva and you can make, say, a PCS checklist, or maybe top 5 tips for PCSing to Jacksonville, Florida. Something along those lines, because that way you're answering questions before people even have them. And and by doing that, you are establishing yourself as the expert. And when you establish yourself as the expert, people call you and they want to work with you, and they don't really have any questions per se. And that's why the conversion rate is so high, because they already want to work with you.
Okay. So whenever you're, say, for instance, going back to the YouTube videos that you're doing and you're posting those on there, in the description of the video and things like that, do you have like your call to action? I mean, what is it exactly that you're doing, or where are you posting that video in other social media resources to get them to actually call you? Like,
Okay.
How does that work?
So we'll probably, because I think that's going to be, I'll try to bet my best to answer it right now, but I think it's kind of a long answer. And I think it's going to be better in a whole nother training, because I would like to do a training on each platform and show how to do it, like Google My Business, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. But I'll do my best to answer. So
yeah, instead of like a how-to, if you could just do like a overview.
Right. So for YouTube, what I do is I have like an intro, like this is all part of the video itself. So this is what the video is about. Then I have an intro with some music or whatever, and then I go into the call to action. So the call to action is in my video, and that's like subscribe. If you're moving here, then give me a call, text, email, whatever. Put all my contact info in there. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. And then in the description is a lot of keywords. So I use a lot of keywords in the description, utilizing the search engine optimization, so that way they show up in front of the right people. But I do have sort of a call to action down at the bottom where it'll say, if same thing as in the video, but sort of if you're interested and you're moving here, then here's the Calendly link to set up an appointment, or here's my phone number to give me a call, all that kind of stuff. But I don't share my videos on any other platform.
Okay.
The reasoning behind that is it can mess up the algorithm. So, for whatever reason, YouTube knows when you are sharing your own videos. They are, YouTube is owned by Google, so which knows everything. So it doesn't work very well. But I think the biggest reason why it's important not to necessarily just share your videos is because you're going to get the wrong people watching them. What I mean by wrong is you're going to have a lot of people that are watching it that are your friends or other real estate people, and not clients. The whole point of the videos is to get in front of clients. So if you're showing them to family, friends, and other real estate professionals, that's not your clients. So nothing's going to happen. And most of those people are going to watch it for, say, 30 seconds and get off. And YouTube is huge on average view duration, which is how long are people actually watching your video. And if it's low, they're not going to promote it. So it's important to try and get that average view duration up to, say, like 50% of your video. And then YouTube's like, oh, this must be a good video, and puts it out there more.
To kind of solve that, Becky, we're working on creating 2 different YouTube accounts. One of them is the one we're doing for, trying for our marketing, like Ed's saying, we're not sharing it on our own social media or anything. We're using the long tail stuff, just making sure the algorithm doesn't get broken. The other YouTube account is the one we're using for like our team, where maybe we put the quick market updates. We're creating a whole library of, how do you go through the sale process? How do you go through the buy process? That stuff we're keeping separate, and we never let them commingle.
Right.
That was a recommendation we got from some other folks that specialize in YouTube, and they're just like, keep it separate. Don't even put it in the same account.
Good to know. Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't do a lot of social media.
Yeah, Leanna's talking about
Yeah, but no,
I think
that's
she's
good.
talking about Channel Junkies, which Cameron and I are both involved in. They are actually our upline. The guys that started Channel Junkies are actually both of our upline. So yeah, I'm excited to bring all of that in here and help you guys with all of that as well. But yes, definitely keep things separate. I've been working on some things on a separate channel as well. You can have as many channels as you want. That's the beauty of it. So if you want to do one for, say, for agent attraction, I couldn't necessarily help you with what you are going to be posting on there. But that goes back to knowing your ideal client, because now your client has changed. Now your client is other realtors that you are trying to bring into your business as well. So you kind of got to ask yourself those questions again. And then what questions, it's sort of easy, because what questions did you have when you were looking at different brokerages and things like that? You can sort of answer those ahead of time and make videos on them. But you definitely want to keep them separate from from each other. You don't want to have, say, agent attraction videos with, videos on Jacksonville, Florida.
Right.
Because it's two totally complete, separate things. I've actually been playing around with an ad on YouTube. More to follow on that, because I don't want to just try and teach somebody how to do it yet and then not have all the kinks out myself. But so far, it's pretty nice. Each view costs me about 20 cents, which is vastly different than Facebook ads, which can be about $2. Now, the goal for that ad is really to just drive more traffic to my website and YouTube video without messing up the algorithm. So, but more to follow on that one.
Okay.
What other questions does everybody have?
Okay, so I have a question. So
Cool.
from what you're saying, I should be making videos for individual cities? Not.
I do. My whole channel actually. So here in Hampton Roads, I think somebody else said they were in Hampton Roads as well. But here in Hampton Roads, the way that this whole place is laid out is you have Norfolk, you have Virginia Beach, you have Chesapeake, you have Suffolk, you have Portsmouth, Hampton, Newport News, all these cities, and they're actually just separate cities, but they butt up right next to each other, and the whole area is Hampton Roads. So what I do for that is I just do one channel for Hampton Roads, one TikTok for Hampton Roads, and I just put in there a lot of the stuff is based on like for TikTok and for Instagram, it's hashtag heavy, knowing which hashtags to use, which hashtags are going to get you the most views, all that sort of thing. So I don't separate my YouTube channel into different cities here, because it's all in the same area. So looks like you're what, San Francisco?
Yes.
How is that laid out? The city itself.
I'm actually next to, I think it's an army base.
Okay.
And it's in the city is Dublin, but it's like a little valley with 3 cities next to each other.
Gotcha. So sort of the same type of thing as what I'm dealing with. Yeah. So what I would probably do is are you serving San Francisco as well?
I can. It's a different board though. in San Francisco.
Oh, is it like different MLS?
Mm-hmm.
That makes it a little bit more difficult. You know what? I would probably just say, like, start highlighting that base. I mean, if it's close enough to San Francisco, you can highlight San Francisco because you're going to get a lot more traffic that way.
Mm-hmm.
People know San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside it, what I do too in my YouTube channel is I'll say, moving to Hampton Roads, but then I'll highlight the different bases and say PCSing to NAS Oceana or PCSing to NS Norfolk, and then talk about those bases in different videos or different playlists. But for your situation, it's kind of difficult if it's a different MLS and you can't serve San Francisco. I mean, you could always refer them out, but that's tough because you're right there. So I would probably focus on just the base itself. And how many are you a part of? Because it's not just YouTube. You can do it on all these different social media platforms, or all these different social media platforms. Like a lot of my clients actually have come from. I'm a part of a first class E6 group on Facebook, and I have gotten quite a few clients from there. So, the groups are huge as well. If there's, you can. Are you active military spouse? What is your
Military spouse.
So your military spouse groups? Those are a fantastic way to get in front of people, and because military spouses are going to go in those groups and they're going to ask. I don't know if you've already seen it, but they should be asking things like, "Hey, we're PCSing here. Anybody have any tips?" And then you can get in front of them. Because a lot of it is like, it's pretty quick and simple. You kind of have to catch it. Like, it's kind of like the groups we have on Workplace, where when the referrals come in and there's 15 people commenting down below, like, I serve that area. Well, you kind of got to catch it at the right time. But I think, I'm trying to think here. I think I've closed 4 of my transactions just from that group alone. And then I have a couple coming up from that group as well. So the groups are pretty big. You have to be a little bit more active in them, but they are definitely worth it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ed, I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry about my dog barking earlier. I honestly thought I was on mute.
You're fine.
You mentioned making videos about local schools and crime rate. How do you do that and stay within fair housing regulations?
I knew that was going to come up. So what I do, because you're right, it can come across as steering, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I show statistics. If I'm showing facts, then there's nothing that I say. I don't say this one's better than this one per se. I say, according to such and such, this school has this rating and this school has this rating, or this neighborhood has this crime rating and this neighborhood has this crime rating, and then that way they make the decision on their own. There is a fine line, because you can, if you say the wrong words, it can be classified as steering. But I think if you stick to the facts and you say, hey, this is where the information came from, then you are not steering, because you're not telling them to go to this neighborhood. You are just stating that the schools here are rated a 7 out of 10 according to niche, and the schools over here are rated 2 out of 10 according to niche. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Actually,
you.
it actually just made me think about, like, basically you could do almost a video showing where they can get that information. Like for here in Florida, you can go to the Florida Department of Education, and they
Right.
have a grade where the state grades every school.
Right.
And you can just do a video on how to show them how to find that information.
Right.
Same with crime reports too. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, show them where they can go to get that information on their own.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And your sex offender list.
Right. Now, of course, you know, I don't put all of that stuff out. I do leave some of it back, because it really depends on what people are really looking for. It's more, for me, it's about what is somebody going to be looking for when they are trying to move to somewhere. Like, for instance, Becky, I'm coming down to Jacksonville, right?
Yes,
And-
I'll help you buy a house here, Ed.
Yes. By the way, I'll probably be there beginning of November, so we need to meet up.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I did was, I'm doing a ton of research on Jacksonville itself. Where are the fun spots to go? What are the good beaches that the locals like versus where everybody else? Where's the tourist section? Because me personally, I don't like tourists. I don't like the tourist section of town. Some people do, so that would be good for them to know. But me personally, I don't want to deal with a bunch of people. So I want to know where everybody's not going. Where are some fun night spots to hang out at? Because you've got, young military that are moving around. They want to go to the clubs and things like that. So where are those spots? But really, I mean, I definitely focus more on the living versus activities because they can find out the activities. I'm not a tourist person or trip advisor or anything like that. I'm trying to sell homes. So really, I want to talk about what it's like to actually live in those areas versus putting out the other stuff, like I said, about the loans and things like that. That's not bad, but I wouldn't make that a primary, if that makes sense. Because people are still going to ask about those things, but those are more generalized versus like a VA loan is for any state, so it's not necessarily local. Whereas all the local questions are going to be right there in your area. Let's see, what else can I say? Instagram can be slightly harder, but of course you can, I don't know if you guys already know this, but you can link it to your Facebook so that way it posts to Instagram. Like when you make a post on Facebook, it automatically posts on Instagram as well. So if you're making any of the checklists or question cards on Canva, that is one of the tools that I use to make all of my posts. And there are a variety of templates on there that you can use. A lot of the real estate templates on there are the ones that you see everywhere. The problem with just posting organically on Facebook is that it's only going to go to your friends. You can make it public, so I would definitely do that on every single post. But a majority of what I see is there's a lot of people that post on Facebook and expect it to work instantly. This is not an instant game. This is the marathon. If you want fast and you want clients coming in right away, then use use Zillow, use those paid ones, I guess, maybe, to start off, but your social media is going to be the one at the end game, while everybody else right now is kind of freaking out about, well, the market's slowing down and I'm not getting clients and I don't know what's going to happen, and all that kind of stuff. Your social media, I can tell you right now, I personally have not slowed down. If anything, I've gotten busier, and I think it's because of the what I'm putting out on social media. So if you can jump in ahead of other people, you're ahead of the game. Any more questions? We kind of got started talking about all the different platforms too, and there's going to be a lot more coming as we go. I do plan on making trainings on all the different platforms and diving, really deep into website SEO, because while doing the videos, yes, that's the hip thing right now. And a lot of people love the videos, and that's a great way to get clients. How do I explain this right? So my whole thing is I've kind of created this funnel, and I'll share it later in the eXp Millnet group. So basically, the way that my marketing strategy looks is you have this diagram of an upside down triangle. At the top, I have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Google My Business, all that stuff. Those are ways to get me out there. Then right underneath that, I have website and YouTube. Those are where the top platforms are focusing people to come in. Then they get to the website and YouTube, and they get more information. From there, the final block is making an appointment. And then I get on the phone and I talk to them. So I make this giant web using all the platforms, and get the information out there to as many people as possible, and tell them, hey, go to my website or go to my YouTube and you'll get more information. And then from there, give me a call. So the website SEO, I definitely want to sit down with all of you and go over heavily, because it's not just, putting keywords in your website and expecting it to work. There's a lot behind it, and it does take time. I think currently, my current website, I've only posted a few blogs. I need to get back on there and post some more. But just with I think I have like 3 or 5 blog articles. But with that, I am ranking on page 1 for 19 different keywords, and then somewhere between like page 5 and 20, I believe, for like 100 different keywords. But the goal for that is to get on page 1. If you're on page 1 of Google, people are going to click.
And how do you find your keywords?
For the SEO?
Yes.
So I use a tool called Uber Suggest. It's a tool by Neil Patel, and Neil Patel is considered the SEO guru. So I'll go on there, and a lot of it really is kind of like when you're writing a blog article and you have the different topics. Like, let's say so I have one on Norfolk, right? So down one of the paragraphs is Norfolk schools. So I'll type that into Uber Suggest, and I'll get, it'll tell me like how many times a month it's searched, all this information on that keyword. Now, granted, I don't, at least for my area, there's not a lot that are searched over 1,000 times a month. Most of them are searched in the hundreds, but still, it's good to know and good to try and get in front of people with those keywords. You could even type, where are you? I'm sorry, I didn't see who was.
Celeste, hi. I'm in Bremerton, Washington. Bangor
nice.
and PSNS.
Nice. I've been to Bremerton. That's are they still the sub base?
Yes.
Okay. So, I would. So Uber Suggest has two different plans. They have, I believe it's a $23 or $25 a month plan, and then they have a $290 lifetime. If you can afford it, I would just get the lifetime. If you're planning on making blog articles, just do the lifetime, and you don't have to worry about paying them ever again. But that will give you could type in just Bremerton, Washington, and it will give you like a list of keywords that people are searching. Because there's a section on there called keyword ideas. So you can just type in like Bremerton, Washington, and a whole bunch of stuff of what, and it'll rank it for you. So the highest number of searches will be at the top, and then it'll go down from there.
Thank you. I'll definitely look into that.
There's another keyword tool called Ask the Public, which is really good. It's free for a certain amount of searches, but it actually makes a diagram of it on your screen, and you could download the keywords. So you say, okay, you're only supposed to use like a couple words for that tool. Have you used it, Ed?
I have not used that one.
Look up Ask the Public.
I have had.
Answer the Public. Answer the Public.
Oh, yes, that's exactly the one I was trying to. Okay, yeah. So that one does question form, which is kind of cool. I don't use it all the time, but if I run out of like ideas or whatever, I will definitely use that.
Also, you can use Google itself. If you go to Google search, type in real estate / like mine real estate Los Angeles, and then you search, and you're going to see a list of what other people have searched for down in Google. Now you keep opening that one thing that says things other people searched for. Keep opening it. You'll see about 50 to 100 ideas. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll create a video from what I see in the Google search keywords. So I could show up in the top of Google search because I'm answering the questions that people are asking on Google. So that it's a really cool tool. Use Google, because if you use it and you make videos, then you have higher amount of opportunity to be part of the search engine pull. And I've started using shorts. I'm starting using Google Shorts, which is really fun because you can go up to 60 seconds now. You can go 16 seconds to 60 seconds now. Google Shorts is a really cool tool.
Yeah. It's kind of funny with the different platforms because as we go further in time, YouTube sees the success of TikTok, so they are looking at doing more shorts, and then TikTok obviously knows the success of YouTube, so they've been trying to do a little bit more long form content. Now, I believe that TikTok knows that in the end, what wins is long form content. So they're trying to, they've now since extended their time out to, I believe it's now 10 minutes that you can record on TikTok. I have yet to see somebody do a full 10 minutes on TikTok, but TikTok is now known as that short form platform. So if somebody's putting up a video that's 10 minutes long, I can't imagine it getting the amount of views that it would get if it was, say, on YouTube. But yeah, there are a ton of tools out there for SEO. There's another one, I will get it for you. This was probably 9-10 months ago, I sat down with another guy to talk about my website. He really liked it. He had a couple suggestions. He did like a free consultation, so and we got along really well. But he gave me another website that's actually better than Uber Suggest. Uber Suggest is really good when you're beginning or you have no idea anything about SEO. But I forget what the heck that website was. But he gave me another one. But it's way more expensive than Uber Suggest. So.
Here, I just put the
Any
answer to
more
public in there.
questions
Sorry.
about knowing your ideal client?
You see that car behind me? That's my ideal client. See, I don't go anywhere without people knowing what I do and who I do it for.
Nice.
Yeah, I really, these questions, I took a screenshot actually of those questions that you put up there, and it definitely helps you kind of focus
Right.
and really jogs your mind as to what type of content you're going to put out there for them.
Right. I think it's easy to get lost in the sauce, so to speak, where you're a real estate agent, so you think. The problem is most of us think like real estate agents. So we think we know what somebody is going to be asking or looking for. And a lot of people that, I can't really say that. Some people that I've talked to go out and say, I'm a real estate agent. And then that's it's like they think that that's how the client's just automatically going to be, okay, cool. And all of a sudden I need to buy a house. That's not really reality. So, but by asking the questions, because people are already looking for this stuff. They already are doing this. They're already researching all this information. So if you're the one that's putting it out there, like I said before, you're establishing yourself as an expert in your area. You then, obviously, because we all like taking care of clients, you take care of your clients, and guess what? They're now recommending you to all their people that they know. If they're military, they're going to recommend you to all the people that are transferring as well. Bruce, did you have a question?
Bruce, did you have a question? You got your hand raised.
Hey.
Did you mean to raise your hand, Bruce?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
No, I didn't mean to raise my hand. I'm so sorry. I was pointing to something in my office and my hand went up. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, you're fine.
Hey, but I would like to make a comment about the mailers.
Sure.
We talked about the mailers. Right now, I have 20-some listings from mailers.
Nice.
And
nice.
But it's because of the way I do it. I don't send it out from eXp and I put a business card in there. So I sent it out personally from me and my wife to the homeowner, and this is something anybody can use. And once I personalize it and I put a business card in there, people open it because they're wondering if you'd send them a gift card or something like that, and they tend to read it. And from that is where I get my calls from. So it worked well for me. It's something I learned with fortune builders, but it worked well for me. And it might be something that would work well for others. I just like to share that with them if they do that.
Well, hey Bruce, how about I get on your calendar? and you can come teach us a class about that.
Will do.
All right. All right.
Well, it's about 12:58. If
I have
there
one more
are,
question.
okay, sure, go for it.
Do you utilize Twitter at all?
I do not. Me personally, I do not. I don't like Twitter.
Yeah, I don't either. It's not ever something I can wrap my head around. To me, it looks like chaos.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, Twitter is, oh, I'm thinking about this right now, and I'm gonna post it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Short thoughts. Yeah.
right, I don't see the how I can utilize it in what I'm doing. Whereas, you know, a lot of people that are tooling around, or, you know, you can get people to share things on Facebook, and that's kind of the key with Facebook, is if you can get friends of yours to share your post, you're going to get it in front of more people.
Got it. Okay.
But
yeah. And it seems like
if it's
just a platform that it's a lot harder to actually build relationships on.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm never on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Ed. This was eye-opening. Thank you all for attending. What we're going to do is Ed's building out, this is just the beginning. So just that one slide of all the things that are thought-provoking on really narrowing down our audience, that to me is gold, and it's thought-provoking and something we all need to think about so that we can first plan our attack with social media, right?
Right.
So yeah, and Ed's got a whole lot more coming. He's going to really, build out different classes for us to get into the nuts and bolts of all of this. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, Ed, being with us here today, and thank you everyone who attended. And we've got the next one's going to be rolling out soon.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. I really appreciate it, and thank you, Becky, for giving me the time.
Absolutely, I enjoyed it. I look forward to meeting you in November.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Recording stopped.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this short video. Give me 1 second. Let me go to my settings and get back to my camera. That should work. Hopefully. Close that. And start the camera. Hey, everybody. Sam Silver, eXp Realty, 661-621-5340. As you can see, samsilver.net, samsilver.net. It's my new hat. What do you think? You like it? Let me know. So what we just had was a quick from eXp Workplace, our veteran group. We had a Zoom meeting about real estate agents that are focused on veterans, how to market to them. And I thought it went pretty good. If you have any questions about real estate, go to samsilver.net, samsilver.net, like it says on my hat. Or you can call me at 661-621-5340. And if your brokerage is not living up to their promises, go to realtymentor.club. If you don't have a real estate license and is interested in getting one, go to needhelp.club. And if you are a nonprofit, give me 1 second. Hey, I still got people in the room. Cool. Coming up, Tana, come on up and say hi. So nice seeing you in my room. Come on up if you can. I don't know if you're busy right now, but I invited you up. Anyways, also I was streaming this. I have it on all of my social media content. So you could find it anywhere. You could always Google me, Sam Silver Homes, Sam Silver Realtor, Sam Silver Real Estate. You can always Google me to find me. I'm everywhere. And thank you so much for coming. And Tana, if you're not going to be able to come on stage, I got to close the room because I got to get busy with my work. But everyone that came into this room, I'm so thankful for you. Your time is your most valuable asset, and you spent some time with me. I appreciate it. And I will catch you on my next pop-up room. Bye for now. Actually, let me stop the recording here. Okay. Stop the recording and close the room. Let me go back here. Close the room. Go. Oh, I guess I'll just do this. And close this. And close this. Oh, where'd my thing go? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going to end the broadcast. Take care. You can also scan this if you're a nonprofit and you want to be part of my Facebook nonprofit group. Just scan that big QR code in the corner. And I'd love to talk to you about, let me scroll this over here, charitable gifts of real estate to nonprofits. Charitable gift of real estate to nonprofits. Are you a nonprofit that is looking for funding? Just visit takethefunding.com. Takethefunding.com. Over $9 billion is being given to nonprofits in the community across the country. $9 billion is being given to nonprofits in your community. If you want to help a nonprofit in your community, make sure you visit takethefunding.com. Bye for now. Happy Thursday.